ain't hard, humble but full. We ain't here to judge, just talk what's real. Taste every word before we serve that meal. Red, white, and true. We stand on what we do. Gotta taste your words before you say them. Cause the truth cuts clean when you lay it. Red, white, and true. We pray on what we choose. If you don't line up with his view, we don't spread it. Red, white, and true. Rolling that feed, everybody want flame. Pointing at a headline, never read a whole page. It says, slow down, son, check that source. Every tongue got power. Pick your course. Ronnie takes a breath, says a quiet prayer. Lord, guard my mouth, let me keep it fair. We talk faith, talk flash, talk the hard news too. But we weigh each word like it's aimed at you. Hey, hey, red, white, and true. Stand on what we do. Gotta taste your word before you say them. Cause the truth cuts clean when you lay it. Red, white, and true. We pray on what we choose. If it don't line up with his view, we don't spread it. Red, white, and true. We ain't perfect, just forgive it. Trying to walk it out, not just talk opinion. You can disagree, pull up a seat, that's fine. But we keep it in grace when we draw that line. Hey, 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 red, white, and true. We stand on what we do. Gotta taste your words before you say them. Cause the truth cuts clean when you lay it. Red, white, and true. We pray on what we choose. If it don't line up with his view, we don't spread it. Red, white, and true.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to
Hello.
Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie.
Hello. How's it going down there?
Well, I got a phone call right in the middle of the opening opening song, and that took care of my headset being connected, so I had to jump out and jump right back in. And so it's kind of funny. We prayed before, and I prayed that the technology would work right, and it did.
Yep, it
It
did.
did exactly what it was supposed to do. Not what I wanted it to do, but what it
Yeah,
was supposed to do.
my headphones finally connected right as the theme started playing, so I'm good there.
Well, it is Saturday, July the 18th. Man, we're already halfway through July. It seems like we were
Yes.
just waiting for the 4th to get here. Now it'll be August before you know it. And kids locally here will be back in school. And boy, time flies.
Right.
Which isn't so bad when you're looking forward to a cruise in September. So I don't know if we've talked about that on here or not, but your mom and I and good friends are going on a 7-day cruise to Alaska in September.
Nice. I will not be.
Some people have to work for a living, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Some people got to keep this world going around.
There you go. Well, I don't know if I should take it personal or not, but there's 4 of us going. 3 of them have their passports approved, and I've not even we received your application yet.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's trying to tell me something or what, but I still got a little time to make sure it happens. So we're excited,
Fingers crossed.
and who knows, we might do Red, White, and True from a cruise ship. That would be
There
a
you go.
first.
That'd be cool.
Because all 4 of us that are going have never been on a cruise ship, so we're excited.
I have back in high school in New York Harbor. The marching band, we went to New York. We played at Jefferson Square, and got to go on it wasn't like a cruise ship with like staterooms that you would stay in, but it had a dance floor and a very big, nice formal meal, and it was really cool.
Well, before we go any further, unfortunately, there was some breaking news this afternoon. Uh, let me get it scrolled up here. 2 U.S. troops were killed and another missing as Iran made strikes on the country of Jordan. And from Epic Times, it says this: 2 U.S. service members have been killed and another remains missing following Iranian strikes on Jordan on July the 17th, CENTCOM has announced. CENTCOM and the U.S. and partner forces were defending against a set of Iranian ballistic missiles and drone attacks when the 2 U.S. troops were killed. The military is withholding the names, and 4 more U.S. troops were injured, medically evacuated to hospitals in Jordan, and have since been discharged. Other personnel sustained lesser injuries as a result of the strikes. Those fatalities bring the total to 16 troops that have given their life. Godspeed, heroes, is what Secretary of War Pete Hegseth wrote in a post on X. Their sacrifice only stiffens our resolve. And so, Ronnie, I think that it's time to just unleash the gates of hell upon Tehran.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
And, you know, we have said this for a while now, and there's no sense waiting. They're not going to come to terms. They're not going to do what they say. Technically, we're supposed to still be in a memorandum of understanding, and obviously that's been thrown out the window, and Trump acknowledged that it's been thrown out the window.
Yep.
But losing U.S. forces is not acceptable, is it?
No, it never is. It never is. And unfortunately, I knew it was only a matter of time. And I unfortunately also don't think that it's going to renew our resolve. It's not going to light a fire under some rear ends and get stuff done that needs to be done, unfortunately.
Well, I think that the time has come for that to take place.
Oh yeah.
And I think that even those who love and support the president need to make their feelings known. And it's time to mess them up and mess them up bad.
Oh yeah. I agree.
You know, we've talked many times. We've been dealing with this since '79. You know, that was the hottest topic for my 4 years in the military. Them and Libya back then, of all places, back in the days of Muammar Gaddafi. And, you know, we've been talking about making them a parking lot for how many ever years that is, 47 or something like that, 46, 47 years. And it's time to quit talking about it and let's get it on.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Well, I'm going to let you take off first. I've got quite a bit about Trump's, I won't call it a press conference. I really won't call it, wasn't an Oval Office address, but he did address the nation on Thursday. So you take off with something, and then we'll come back with what you have and I have together on the Thursday press.
Well, let's start off with a laugh. This is, I believe, in Maine. If you haven't seen anything, listen how.
I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. And if they want me to use the men's room, I will, but I don't want to be assaulted.
When Primetime saw Ashley, we fell in love. And we had to know more. Her Reddit page says she ovulates and menstruates. You go, girl. Her book, it's a memoir. It's called I Am Ashley. There's not a book. I want to read more. We can't wait to get our hands on a copy. So if anyone's watching and has an old edition, please send to Fox News headquarters in New York. Attention, Johnny. Ashley is a self-proclaimed songwriter, and we'll have you know that she's self-produced 4 albums. They haven't gone platinum yet, but maybe they will now.
Chuck Schumer, he's a real ass clown. Yeah. Oh, damn circus in a suit now.
That's a real banger.
Wow.
So have you seen that character yet?
I just seen like a still picture and made sure I scrolled right on by.
Yeah, there's been several videos that I've watched this morning already that they asked why he thinks he's qualified, and that's when he said that he was a producer and he writes songs and he writes books and he's ran, but he's never won anywhere. But so we'll keep an eye on that and see if that gentleman gets elected this time.
So I obviously missed something. What is that person running for?
I don't recall. I had it wrote down and I threw all my paperwork away a little bit ago, but something in Maine. Something in Maine. Not exactly sure.
Well, that wasn't one of Plattner's victims, was it?
I don't know. I'll look into it. I'll look into it and have more on Ashley on Tuesday.
That was a joke, actually. That wasn't. Well, I'm gonna have to do better because that was supposed to be a joke. Oh well, what's next?
I actually do not have a whole whopping heck of a lot, but we can jump into the speech on Thursday. I didn't get to watch it. I've been working all week, and it's still taking a toll on me, so it's been kicking my butt. So I was asleep, but lo and behold, I woke up to find out that his speech wasn't worldwide. It wasn't aired, and he, of course, did Donald Trump things.
In a rare move, NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections. Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for multi-billion-dollar assets.
So there we go.
Well, I have heard conflicting reports. I have heard that never before have mainstream media like that refused to air a presidential address. But then I also seen a meme that listed 6 different times. I didn't put much stock into it because it was on the feed of a liberal friend of mine. So I figured, well, so we're red, white, and true and not red, white, and assume. And so I don't know if that was the first time. I know whatever the excuse was, it was not a good excuse. I read somebody say that CNN came out and said that they wouldn't put it on because they couldn't verify that what he was going to say was true. Now, they shouldn't give us such good information to work with because since when has CNN worried about the truth? And it's not like it's not going to be fact checked afterwards, which if it's fact checked that he is wrong, that's much better news for them. if he quote unquote lied in his address. So I'm not sure why that is. Mary asked the question, didn't they start showing it and then stopped and gave their opinions? That was CBS. CBS started late and ended early.
Huh. Shocker.
Let me read a little bit here, and then Ronnie can go on to the next video he has. Obviously, he was on for a while. He began by saying the United States is now safer, stronger, and wealthier than it was when he returned to office. And he pointed to several things going on: increased investment in the United States, record numbers of Americans working, a recent monthly decline in inflation, tax provisions involving tips, overtime, and Social Security, a deduction for interest paid on loans for American-made automobiles, his administration's immigration and border policies, changes involving transgender participation in women's sports, military rebuilding, cooperation with Venezuela on oil production, and what he called progress in the war involving Iran. He said America has gone from being a country that the world laughed at to being respected again. He also said that the United States was winning big in Iran and that Americans would soon see the results. Ronnie, what's your take on all of those topics? Not one by one, but an overall look at the topics that he mentioned. Does it sound like it is familiar to you?
Yeah, I mean, all of Donald Trump's speeches are basically that. Anytime he's done the State of the Union or the Oval Office addresses, like you were talking about, all of his speeches basically are that. I'm talking about election fraud and how well we're doing and all that. And you got to give it to Donald Trump. He can get behind and rah 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 the troops. I think that's one thing that Donald Trump has had over anybody else that's ran is that he can get everybody, not everybody, of course, everybody. You got 50% of the population's orange man bad, no matter what. But Donald Trump can have the ability to get behind his people, support them, get us rallying, and hoorah kind of thing. But I mean, are things really as good as he always puts out? I'd like to think so, but I know it's not that way. Um, I don't know. The whole thing about the election fraud, if you're gonna stand up in front of the world and say this happened, you better have some proof to back it up. And I'd like to see some proof.
Well, he released, or whoever the files came from, I don't remember if they are I think they're DOJ files, but they released at the same time he was giving his speech,
Yeah,
tons of files that gave question, at least, to there being voter irregularities, I guess is the word I would use.
gotcha.
I know that there were some people, even on the Republican side, that wondered why he's talking about 2020 right now when we've got 2026
Coming up.
coming up here. Some people don't, uh, don't appreciate going back in time. They would prefer to concentrate on what is going on right now. Um, I don't know. I see both sides of the story.
I do
Uh,
too.
I still believe that election was stolen. Nobody will ever, ever, ever make me believe that Joe Biden got more votes
Than
than
any other president in history, no way.
in history. So, um, you know, you can say what you want. It was during COVID, so there was tons of mail-ins, and that's why there was more votes than it. I don't care. There's no way in my mind that Joe Biden got the most
No,
votes ever.
no, no. I may need to let you take this for a second. I got to call out. I will be right back.
All righty. Well, Ronnie is on call, and let me get rid of that. And let me see if that works. Yeah, that works. I'm halfway between Ed and Ronnie. How about that? It's better than putting StreamYard banner at the top, even though we use StreamYard and enjoy it very much. Let's talk more about the presidential address on Thursday. Trump said his purpose for the released documents was not to weaken faith in elections, but to rebuild that faith by exposing vulnerabilities and correcting them. He directed viewers to the White House website, where the administration posted documents concerning electronic voting and ballot counting systems, China's acquisition of American voter data, a Michigan voter registration investigation, alleged non-citizens on voter rolls, and intelligence and government handling of election security information. Trump said the documents revealed 5 major areas of concern. We look at China and American voter information, and apparently China acquired approximately 220 million American voter files. He said the information included names, addresses, telephone numbers, political party preferences, and other information that might be useful in voter registration or influence operations. Trump called it one of the largest compromises of election data in history and said China established a unit specifically to exploit the information. Supporters of Trump argue that this is the strongest part of Trump's case, that there is a foreign government trying to influence our elections. Critics say that much voter registration information is already publicly available to or legally sold by states. I don't know. Is it good? Is it? I can't imagine it being good that China would have information about you and I and everybody else, but we live in a time where our phones know what we're doing all the time. If you don't believe that, order something online and then go to Facebook and see what the first thing that pops up as an ad is. It will be exactly what you just ordered online. And so there is that. Continuing on, government cover-up. Trump accused what he described as rogue bureaucrats, a shadow government, and deep state officials of withholding election-related intelligence. Withholding election-related intelligence. He said important information was kept out of his presidential intelligence briefings and that officials suppressed information involving China because it did not match the political narrative being presented to the public. Trump argued that government focused heavily on Russian interference while downplaying information involving China. Voting machines and election system. He said that electronic voting machines, voter registration databases, electronic poll books, and election websites are vulnerable to foreign attack. If systems are vulnerable, then many people support paper records of every vote, audits, stronger cybersecurity, better testing of voting equipment, tighter controls on election software, and restrictions on foreign ownership or access. Critics say Trump repeatedly moved from systems can be attacked to language suggesting that election results had actually been manipulated. Ronnie, welcome back.
Thank you.
I don't know if you heard that list of things that Trump's supporters
Intermittently.
mentioned, but I think those are all things that should be happening whether or not we have an issue or not. I mean, listen
Oh,
to the
yeah.
list. Paper records of every vote. I think that should be being done. Audits,
Yep.
stronger cybersecurity. I mean, this isn't, you know, PhD type thinking here.
No.
Better testing of the equipment, tighter controls on software. You know, that's all stuff that should be taking place as
No matter
as we
what.
speak.
You were talking about. I did hear you were saying about how your phones track you. I mean, it's not just that. There was one time three guys, me and two other guys, we were walking around in the woods. We were talking about this very specific pocket bellows that folds up like this and it extends like an extendable straw, and then you use it to blow into a fire. And it's a beard saver, you know, that way you're not getting down there blowing. And the next day, all three of us had on our phones multiple ads for those exact things that we were talking about. We didn't even buy it. We didn't search them up, buy anything, nothing. They were just phones in our pockets. So cybersecurity to me is a pretty serious thing.
Well, that, but I think we can all agree that there's really nothing about us that is not available somewhere,
Yeah, for sure.
including social security numbers. And, you know, it's surprising really that there's not more identity theft than what there is. I know there is a lot.
Yeah.
And hopefully by talking about it, you know, it won't be the same as you guys talking in the woods about beard savers.
Yeah.
But let's look at another video from Thursday.
I don't have any more
Oh,
videos from Thursday. I didn't get a lot of videos this week.
okay. I thought you had one more. So
No,
uh,
I do not.
we've got several other topics in there. He talked about quite a bit. The Muskegon, Michigan investigation. Uh, he said state police investigated a Democratic aligned voter registration organization after suspicious applications were discovered. Uh, there's still questions out about it. And obviously, even if there was no fraudulent vote cast, the public deserves a complete explanation of what investigators found and why the case ended the way it did. Transparency works both ways, and it helps
Absolutely.
both ways. Non-citizens on the voter rolls. He brought that up, and again, that's not anything new. Uh, he broke it down a little bit. People who become naturalized citizens after entering immigration databases, individuals with the same or similar names, outdated addresses, incorrect birth dates, duplicate records, people listed on registration database who have never voted. And he listed California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Nevada as ones who have challenged the administration's conclusions. Uh, I don't know how anybody can challenge those kinds of things,
Right.
Ronnie.
I I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting though. It's interesting. I again, even with COVID, even with like you said, a lot more mail-in ballots, I cannot see how Joe Biden, who ran from his basement, you know, who had really small rallies, could get more votes than any other president on the planet. Don't believe it.
Well, and this
Don't
here
believe it.
goes right along with it. He criticized states that take days or weeks to complete their voter counts. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
When other third world countries are finishing theirs within 24 hours.
you know, I understand having everybody's vote count, but put things into play where if you want your vote to count, you have to have it postmarked this many days in front of election day because we're going to count them on election day.
Yeah.
And you might say, well, they wouldn't get all of the latest information in that last week or whatever. And my point is, you can't really have it both ways. You can't have election day and get same day results.
Yeah,
and,
if it's going to take weeks and
and
weeks.
give, you know, you got to go with something, and waiting just don't make a whole lot of sense. And California was a great
Yep.
example with the LA mayor's race and then the governor's primary. It all just was out of whack. Did you get another call?
I did. I'll be right back.
All right,
Sorry.
no problem. Uh, I think everybody knows that Ronnie is a animal control officer, and on his weeks that he's on call, he has to take calls immediately. So that's what he's doing. Let's take a break while he is gone, and let's listen to this.
We're taking a short break, but don't go anywhere. Ed and Ronnie will be right back in just a few seconds. Thank you so much for supporting Red, White, and True. Did you know that your interactions with us on social media are vital to making sure that we continue to grow our audience? Please follow us on all major social media platforms, especially our Facebook page, so we can continue to share Christ through current events and more here on this live stream. Okay, just a little bit longer to make sure that you go grab your coffee, soda, or whatever you want, so we can continue with today's live stream. All right? Are you ready? Here we go. Here again are Ed and Ronnie.
Or just Ed, as we are waiting on Ronnie to return. I want to go in a different direction. Let me just recap the rest of the information I have. We'll go on to our next topic here in a second. He attacked NBC, ABC, and CNN for not putting the address on. The huge important thing going on in it, in my estimation, was the Save America Act. Trump concluded the night by calling on Congress to support the Save America Act. I'm hoping that that can take place soon. We know that Americans' elections are too important for things not to take place that should. Again, this isn't rocket science, but a secure election system requires citizenship verification, accurate voter rolls, paper records, audits, cybersecurity, transparent counting, equal access for eligible voters, investigation of credible allegations, and evidence before declaring an election is illegitimate. The president released information on that, and it deserves to be taken a look at. With that, let's move on. Let me check back. No, Ronnie's not back with us. Oh, Ronnie is back with
Now
us.
I'm back. Now I'm back. Lost puppy, then a found puppy. I love it.
All within 3 minutes.
Yes, that didn't include me doing anything other than calling, making a phone call back. Two phone calls back. So love it when something works out.
Well, something interesting took place. JD Vance was on with Joe Rogan, and Rogan pressed JD on the topic of UFOs being demons. Now, if you remember back, JD Vance
Oh yeah.
said that he believed that that might be the case. So Rogan asked Vance to explain why he previously suggested that some UFO phenomena could be interpreted as demons rather than extraterrestrials. Vance said he believes in the supernatural and argued that if powerful human like entities torment people, there is historical and religious precedent for describing them as demonic. He also emphasized that he is open minded about unexplained phenomena, but views the distinction between interdimensional beings and demons as potentially less important than their effects on people. There was an observer was reporting on it, and they described the condition or the discussion as significant because a sitting U.S. vice president openly addressed UFOs and spiritual beliefs on a major podcast. They argued many biblical passage describes an unseen spiritual realm involving angels, demons, and other supernatural beings that could explain some reported UFO experiences. Ronnie, what do you think about the vice president and his continued talk on this subject?
I find it refreshing because I believe that everybody should opinion on certain things like this. Cody and I, the other animal control officer that I work with, him and I were actually just talking about this yesterday, um, about how not like ghosts and paranormal phenomenon, but aliens are actually demons. And he brought up some good points, but I'm a Star Trek fan, so I look up at the night sky and I see thousands of stars, and I'm thinking, surely to God, there's somebody else out there. Maybe we're not alone, but I don't know. I'm starting to follow into this demon theory too. That one thing Cody said was that the best way the devil can win is to make you believe him. And what way are you going to believe him? That aliens are real and they're not really aliens; they're actually demons. So I'm open minded on it now.
Mary asked us if JD and his wife shouldn't be having the baby pretty soon. It
I
seems
believe
like
so.
I remember in July was the date. So if I'm accurate on that, which maybe we'll check here in a second,
Yeah.
it should be very, very soon. Uh, Continuing with the debate there between, I don't know that Rogan and JD were debating so
Yeah.
much as he wanted to have JD, explain further what his thoughts were. I think one of the things that seems to be intriguing, and I think having not listened to it and only reading about it, is that I believe people think that JD may have more information than what John Q. Public does.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. I can
and,
see that's what he's pushing for.
and if that's the case, explain yourself. And so I think that's kind of
Yeah.
what was going on. Um, I don't know. I mean, where do you think? Not what is the results going to be, because all of that's just opinion. But how do you think it's going to play out here in the last 2 years of the Trump administration? Are we going to continue to be strung along, or are we going to, have some official results of Area
Yeah.
51 and other things? What do you think?
I don't know. I was really hoping that with the release of the UFO files that it'd be clear as day, but just like anything else the government does, it made it clear as mud, and there's no definitive proof that aliens have been here or that there's an alien bunker at Area 51 or anything like that. So I don't know. I really hope so. I mean, that was one of the things that he campaigned on. Again, something else that he campaigned on. So let's go. Let's get it done. I want to meet ET.
Well, think about how many times we say, let's go, let's get it done. And I think Trump's history is that he gets things done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we seem to be coming up with a lot of things that we still want answers to. And I know we got to get through the midterms here. And even if we keep the House and the Senate, we being the Republicans, we need to get some, at that point, from the vote in November until he leaves office, then he's got nothing that he has to worry about holding over his head.
Yeah.
He's not going to run for reelection. It should be Katie bar the door. And
Right.
I hope that's the case. We, as Republicans, haven't been in that position for a long time. Since George W. Bush left office was the last time we had a Republican that served 2 terms all the way through. I don't know. I'm hoping that, Trump makes a lot of promises, and I hope he can come through with results. And I
Did I
hope
lose you?
No. Are you?
Uh-oh.
I hear you.
Maybe it's me. I don't know.
I can hear you. I hear you. You don't hear me. Oh, he left and he's going to come back. Again, time will tell. Kind of like with Iran. Are we going to get busy and get it done, or are we going to continue to stroll along and, there he comes back. Hopefully he can hear me, which means
Yeah.
that
The internet's been pretty bad up here today, so my apologies.
that's all right. I just had a thought while you were away. I would sure hope this isn't the case, but usually when we are at war footing, and which we are right now, but we're kind of like on pause, which is kind of weird. Usually it's either you're on war footing or you're not. But it's difficult to express my thoughts on this, get it out the way I want to. Normally when you're bombing the crap out of somebody, you got a lot of support behind you. There's a lot of patriots out there, a lot of veterans out there, a lot of patriotic Americans that are going to be supporting. And surely that wouldn't be a reason for waiting closer to the midterms. I'll ask that question of Ronnie when he gets back. I hate that he's having internet problems, and we're probably going to cut short tonight anyway. We kind of wanted to focus on Thursday night. I don't know if you're listening online. Do you think that the president would use his commander-in-chief powers for political gain? Again, I would certainly hope not. I would hope that Pete Hegseth and his folks would be providing plenty of good information for him to make a decision, and on what time frame things will take place. Ronnie must really be having some struggles. Let me do something else here real quick.
Hey there, yeah, I'm talking to you. Name's Clyde. I'm a Cardinal, obviously, but here's the thing. I am absolutely hooked on Ed and Ronnie's live streams. Can't help it. Every Tuesday, I plop down in this nest, seeds on standby, and tune in. They bring the truth like a tailwind.
Oh, every Tuesday, the Redbird is here. And when we get there on Tuesday, the Redbird might do this.
Woohoo! Almost there! Phew, made it! Now for some TV. All right, Red, White, and True with Ed and Ronnie. This is gonna be great!
And one final one. If there are trolls out there, this one is for you.
Yeah, you know who needs to shut up? Ed and Ronnie and that red, white, and true bullcrap.
Okay, time for you to go, troll.
That's right. Actually, we welcome trolls. We got a good, thorough comment here from Mary. 7 days in a row now, or a row of striking them. Not much coverage that I've seen. It should be considered war. Probably has something to do with troop pay or life insurance payouts. I think as far as hazardous duty and those kind of things, I think that they probably are getting their hazardous duty pay. And I'm talking about more of, the pause. At any point in time, you can think that Trump is going to give them time to go back to the negotiating table. And here's what I think ought to happen. I think the negotiating table ought to get blown up. Not the people there, just the negotiating table, because it's useless. It is more than obvious that it's not a good thing, and it is time for it to go. Speaking of time for it to go, I think we're going to go ahead and go. We've covered what we wanted to cover. God bless each and every one of you for your support. We thank you for being with us. Tomorrow is the Lord's Day. And Mary, I don't know the answer to that question. I would think that they got hazardous duty pay. I don't even know if that existed back then or not. So I would have to research that. That is a very good question. But tomorrow being the Lord's Day, I encourage you, as a matter of fact, the Bible commands you to be together with like-minded brothers and sisters. It tells us to not forsake the assembly with one another, as some will in the last days. There's a reason to go to church, and that is the fellowship of brothers and sisters in Christ. It is an amazing thing. I know that there are millions of people who have been hurt by churches or people in church, but God never ordained any of that. God does not ordain the hurting of others. He ordains discipline. He ordains leaders being in authority, but he does not entertain people that like to hurt other people's feelings in the name of Christianity. So if you are in central Indiana and don't have a place to go to church, Old Union it's in Bartholomew County with an Edinburgh address. I can give you directions. About 40 miles south and a little bit east of Indianapolis. The Father's House is Sunday night. Old Union, 10 o'clock Sunday morning. The Father's House, 6 o'clock on Sunday night. And we'd love to have you either place. So until we see you again, God bless you, and go out and do the right thing.
I think that every single person in this country should read the Bible at least once, if not all the time, because every answer to every question in life is all right there.